The harbour was crowded with ships from the Cove Quays to Ringaskiddy and Haulbowline, some at anchor, others gliding soundlessly through cotton-wool mist. British minesweepers waiting for brighter weather to resume their dangerous harvest in the minefields south of Ireland. Coasters chartered by the Dublin government laden with coal, grain and salt for citizens weary of wartime rationing. Ships the colour of the North Atlantic, wartime ghost ship grey. Jack remembered the harbour as it was before the war, bright with billowing spinnakers in rainbow colours, white sails filled with the golden light of evening, scarlet steamship funnels inflating perfect balloons of pungent blue smoke, yachts with fittings of polished brass and varnished mahogany, pennants, burgess, ensigns, flags. Gone now. He pushed his greatcoat collar up against the chill. A southerly wind came up from the sea, past Roach's Point, the forts, and Spike Island, dead-ending against the limestone buildings of the quayside and the whitewashed houses heaped upon the hill. He stood on the fog-slick steps of the Lusitania Memorial and counted the vessels at anchor, comparing them against a list he carried in his head. The ships rose and fell silently on the swell. The flotsam of war, he thought. He winced with regret. The California was gone. Gone, thought Jack. He was a large man, thick-limbed but not fat. His skin was translucently pink, and blue veins stood out on his cheeks and the backs of his hands. Thinning red hair flew out in wisps about his crown, and his chin tended towards jowly. But he carried well, his 37 years. Lines at the corners of his mouth betrayed a tendency to smile, but now he was sombre, his mind on the ship that was steaming past the old head of Kinsale towards the open Atlantic, and on the passenger it had left behind. Again, today, a reporter from the Examiner had been around to inquire about the girl, her story, the circumstances of her flight. A young girl, 800 men, had caught the attention of an editor. No, she had not been found. Yes, the Gardaí had been notified. Yes, she had been trying to get to America. Yes, attempts had been made, unsuccessfully, to locate her parents through the authorities at Le Havre. No, he did not know how many of the American lads had been part of the scheme. No, he did not know if disciplinary action had been taken against the soldiers, or even if the girl's accomplices had been properly identified. The reporter scribbled notes and departed. Jack arranged the pencils on his desk, first by colour, then by length, then by colour again. He rubbed his thick, pink hands briskly together and looked at the empty chair where the girl had sat. He would be required to write a report describing her escape. His superiors would not be pleased. They would say that he was lax, that the girl's evasion of custody was typical of his inattention to detail. "I am not inattentive," thought Jack to himself, as he jiggled his pencils into a new arrangement. The stowaway girl spoke no English, but he'd a bit of French. He had questioned her gently. "Comment vous appelez-vous?" Her cottony dress clung to her knees, violets on an azure field. Her green eyes swam about the room, alighting nowhere. "Anne-Marie?" she said at last, shrugging nonchalantly. "Nom et prénom?" "Coupeau?" "Quel âge avez-vous?" 16 ans.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.